This lesson is about the shirt sleeve. 0 here, 1, 2 points. Usually when we draft the pattern, if this is the starting point and you draw a straight line, and this has to be, if this is the point 1, now if you just start here on the straight line, so that is the straight line. This actually, the straight line is the length of the sleeve from this is the top where the sleeve connects the shoulder and all the way to the end, including cuff. So let's look at the scale, and the scale we are working on here is the half chest. So if the chest measurement is 40 inches, half chest is 20, and that's how we work out the scale drafting this block. So now if this is the starting point from here to here, 1 to 0 is 1/3 scale less quarter inch. So you work out 1/3 scale. If it's 36 chest, you work out 1/3 of the 36 and take out 1/4 of an inch, and that is your point 1. So, and 1 to 0 is 1/3 scale less quarter inch. And here we have 2. Point 1 here, from point 1 to 2 is half of the armhole circumference less 3/4 of an inch. So, and in your diagram, so your full armhole, this is the front, if this is the back, the total armhole circumference, you got to take half of that and reduce 3/4 of an inch, and then you create a straight line, right, from 1 to 2, right? And that is the point you measure from there to there is half armhole circumference less 3/4 of an inch. And what usually happens is, now you got your point from here to here and you just draw a square line. So this has to be 90 degrees, so you have created point 0, which is 1/3 scale less 1/4 of an inch, and then you got your starting point as 1, and then so this line, you will just draw this line a little bit higher, but then once you get the measurement work out from here to here, that is from here to here, 1 to 2, half armhole circumference less 3/4 of an inch, and you create that line. So that has been created, and so you have created your point 2 there, right? And sorry, then we got point 3 and point 4 here. So these points are created by dividing this line into 3 equal pieces. Let's say if this is 9 inches, each portion will be 3 inches, so it's divided into 3 equal pieces, and that's how you do that. Whatever the amount you get from here to there, divide it by 3 and make your point 3 and 4, right? So now once you create the point 3 and 4, this is a standard measurement. This is standard for all the sizes we do, and it's 1 1/4 inches from here to here. So you mark 1 1/4 and you create your 0.5, and then from here to here is 1 inch, 1 inch, and you create your 0.6. So when you create that point, so and you connect these dots starting from here, slight curve, and as you can see this shape like that, and shape it, and then meet that point. So this is one part of the sleeve. And always remember, now this is on a fold, so two parts of the sleeve. Let's say if this is folded this way, and then we are creating this, you got that, and you got this point, and we'll create that. So this is your sleeve like that. So this is one part that goes into the bigger part goes to the back, and then we're going to create the other part that is going to go to the front. So that is a little bit more curved. You'll see this when you finish the diagram. So this is how the sleeve looks like. So whenever you start drafting the block, you just gotta do this on a fold, so that way you don't lose the you have to put a join in the paper. So if you just fold the paper in half and start working out that way, automatically you have created the space to do the other side of the sleeve. So but then what we are doing here is back to this part. So 6, and we have created the 0.6, and then we're gonna go back to, now this is usually this fuller part goes to the back, because back is more fuller on the shirt block, and then the front is more hollow, because to follow the chest and to accommodate for that shape, this has more shape. So for that, to accommodate that we have this shape is joining the front, and the fuller shape is joining the back. So we're just going to work it out with some notches. We'll talk about it after. And so now going back to this line from 5 again, 4 to 6, and we're going to create 0.7, which is here, and we're creating the other part of the sleeve head. And from here to here, 6 to 7, this point is 5/8 inches, so 5/8 of an inch. So we mark from here to there, 5/8 of an inch. And so this is the same, and then we start connecting this from here to there. So this is a bit more scooped in, and so both sides of the sleeve is been created now. So we got this part here, and so now here we're just going to, now this is from here to here, length of the sleeve less the cuff width. So as you can see here, cuff width includes the sleeve length, so you got to make sure you take out the cuff width if you just measure the sleeve including cuff. But the other thing you can do is you can just measure that bit of the sleeve without the cuff, so you can apply that measurement straight here. So so what we do is, let's say when we work out, or if you just measured the sleeve length only without the cuff, we're going to apply that measurement. Let's say if it's 23 inches from here to here, so we're going to square that line up. Always make sure it's 90 degrees, so you get a nice and square line. And then from now we got 6, 7, 0.8 is created using the sleeve length, and then we're gonna create the shape of the sleeve for it to sit on the body, where the hand is positioned. we just got to come up here from the full length measurement up to here. It's 7/8 of an inch, so we're just gonna mark here, and then we have created 0.9, so 9 is here, 8 is there, and now from here to here is the half cuff width. Let's say if our cuff is 10 inches, from here to here is 5.5, so we got point here. So it depends, this varies for bigger sizes, you know, we can go a little bit bigger, but for this size 37, 38, 40 chest, we can go 5.5, so double of 5.5, because this has two sides, this and the other side, becomes 11 inches. So let's measure from here to here, it's 5.5, so you connect that line, 5.5. So then you have created your point 10. Then what you do is you connect 2 to 10, just like that, right? So that has been created, and now here what we got is 10.11, 11 here, 11 is just here, so 2 3/8 inches from here. That's a standard amount. That's where we we position the split for the back of the sleeve. And if you have a look at a shirt, let me show you a shirt here. Here it is. So that is the back open, and as you can see, that's a split of the sleeve. So there you go. So that is the open, and then we got these pieces added. So what we are talking about here, from here to here, because this is extra bit, and that line is from here to here, and that is 2 3/8 inches, right? So here to here is 2 3/8 inches, 2 3/8, and so what we do is when you mark that point, you're just going to take out 1/4 of an inch here, just so that way instead of angle you get a square line 90 degrees from there to there, and then you're going to create this line and make sure this line runs always parallel to the fold seam or the center of the sleeve, like that. And so same measurements here, distance from here to there, there to here, and it's 12.12 here, and usually the length of this split is about 5 3/4 of an inch. You know, this you can go a little bit less, and sometimes we do this about 4 inches. You know, it's just as long as the open is enough, and but anything from 4 inches to 5 3/4 is fine. And so once you create that, this is only for one side, because as you can see, the split is only on the back of the sleeve, so you only split open that side, only one part. So I'll show you now when you go back to that. So this is the bigger part, the back of the sleeve. Front has no split, so the split only comes here, only on one side. Otherwise, you know, if you have if you make a mistake and split the front, and you'll have open there, that is wrong. So that is that. And now, so we got the split created just from there, and then you're just going to connect that to that. So this is actually your cutting line of the sleeve bottom, right? But this line is for the front. The front is cut on this line, only the back where the split is cut on that line. So it's just, this will have this here, and from there this will have a little shape like that, you know, and basically it's coming in a little bit more just from there. So yeah, from there it connects there, so like that. So it has a bit of a curve there, and that's how it works for the split, and you'll understand when you start sewing it. So that is done, and this is done. So this has been created. And if you are making a short sleeve shirt, so the 13 is the short sleeve length. Let's say if this is 10 inches, you square this up, and you gotta leave the hem if it's depending on how you do the hem. If you're doing double hem, you just gotta, if your hem width is 1.5 inches, you gotta double it, so 1.5 and 1.5 and double turns, and then it stitches. And always make sure when you mark the short sleeve, you just gotta leave a little bit room, because what happens is when you fold this up, this is gonna fall short and then the sleeve is gonna be tight. But this is accommodating, giving that room for the hem not to be tight and stitch evenly and without creating any puckering or problems there. So that is actually for the short sleeve. And now we have created the now we have drafted the long sleeve here, and this is the cuff. Again, this has to be on fold and this has to be on fold, right? So the width of the cuff is 3 inches from here to here, 5 inches from here to there, and then it's a double. So, and then if you have a curved cuff, you just slightly, like, you know, do a nice curve here, or you can have a square cuff. So that has been created, and so that is actually the pattern for the cuff and the sleeve. So when you add pleats to this, so you mark probably about 1.5 inches, and then you mark your pleat if this is 1/2 inch, or and then if you do 2 pleats, you can add. Some shirts we do without pleats, but if you want to add pleats, and you gotta make room for the pleat that is as extra. If you are adding a 1 inch pleat, you gotta give a little bit extra here. So this line, not from here, this line never changes because it's on the fold. Whatever you add has to come from here. And if it's 1/2 inch, you give 1/2 inch, it doubles. So that is optional. You can add a plate, or you can just make without plates. So if you want a clean finish, I would suggest that do it without plates, and that's a cleaner finish. But if it's more for looser shirt, loose finish, and you can always add a plate there or 2. See, this one has 2 plates, but it's optional. Right, now this cuff we're going to talk about later, and once you make the pattern, and this needs fusing. Cuff has to be fused. So once you do this one, this includes seam allowance as well, 1/2 inch seam allowance, and all around there's seam allowance. And then when you mark your fusing is like a finish measurement. So you take out all the seams that are added here, and then your fusing pattern will be marked like this. And or other option is soft fusing. You can cut exactly as the fabric and stitch around it and turn it in. That works too, because nowadays we don't use really firm fusing. It's very soft fusing. So I would say not to worry about reducing the seam allowance, but just cut it exactly as that. One fabric, one self, and one fusing, and that's how we cut it. So we'll explain a bit more in the other lesson. So this is simply your shirt sleeve, and so once you design that pattern, you know, as I said, start on the fold, and when you finish that, you should have a pattern shape like that. And let's say when you design your cuff here like that, and this is double, and you're gonna end up with 2 pieces, because this piece has to match, because this is going there, right? So now going back to that, see the fuller piece, and we're just gonna have 2 notches matching the back armhole of the shirt. If this is the back, this is the front, and you're just going to align this one this way and mark 2 notches here, and these 2 notches should match. That is also an indication that this part, this shape, goes into this part of the body, so when they're sewing they can't mix it up, they can't put it back to front. And so this one has just one notch. We just put it a little bit up here, and then we're just going to match it and put a notch somewhere here. That is actually now put a notch here, not there. And so when this is aligned and set up, and that notch is gonna make that notch. So how you do that is you're gonna run the pattern piece along that armhole, and see that it's following this shape and then meeting at this point where the notches are. So that has to be, this has to go on top of that, you know, it has to meet at the same place, and same on this side. And once you've done that, and you have completed your sleeve pattern, and that's it. And in the next lesson we're going to talk about the shirt collar.